Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Foreign vs. World 10 Grand Show Match. In the top right, spawning as our blue Zerg, it is Serral playing for Team World. And in the bottom left here, for Team Korea, we have Cure. Yeah, that's actually the case here. Cure opens up with, was this a gas first? No, I can't count. It was a barracks first. Now, for the people that are not aware, the format is very simple. It is an all-kill format with 5 players. So both Korea and the world have 5 players. They can send a player. Those 2 players will fight a best of 5. The person who wins the best of 5 will stay on. And then the opposing team that lost gets to pick a new player. So it's an all-kill format, but rather than what is usual in all-kill is that it's best of 1, now it's best of 5. So we get an absolute crap ton of games over here, with Serral opening up with a hatch first for Team World, and Cure opening up with a very standard opener here in the Terran vs. Zerg matchup, as he just gets that low ground expansion. Hasn't scouted quite yet. And we're getting ready to see whatever these guys are gonna throw at each other. I'm fairly curious. I haven't seen a whole lot of Serral yet on the patch. I've seen one game. That is actually it. I've seen one game in TVZ, and that was against Clem on Altitude, which was a sick banger, by the way. Some people would even call it a certified banger, that particular game. Very fun to watch, in which Serral eventually was victorious. Reaper now pops in over here. Gonna start shooting down some links. Will not quite get one though, as you see the Reaper just kind of popping around, having a good old time. Very curious to see what is going to be kicking off here. 3rd CC does go down. We also see the factory right now in production. And this is of course the moment of truth. The moment we have all been waiting for. The moment that we knew was going to come. And has now officially arrived. Cyclones or Hellions. And it's double Cyclone. Double Cyclone start here as it's going on a trip here with the barracks. He's spotted this Overlord and now pops back in to throw down this tech lab. Triple CC, double Cyclone start. Most likely will follow this up with a couple of cars. I don't think having multiple Cyclones actually does that much for you. Like having 2 is good, but getting 4 doesn't actually bring you that much. Oh my god, look how greedy this is. Cure, you beast of a human being. Double eBay before extra barracks. Oh, he's actually adding 2 more Cyclones. So 4 Cyclone as an opener. Serral right now is skipping... No, he's not skipping speed. It's already done. He has very fast speed. Now, Cyclones out on the map by themselves are kind of scary. Or it's scary to be a Cyclone. It's also scary to be a Zergling, because as an individual, you have very little chance of succeeding. But as a group, most likely, you are going to succeed. Because if there's 10, 20, let's say 20, 22 links out or so, these Cyclones shouldn't be capable of doing very much. But at the same time, you're still most likely gonna die if you're an individual link, because a lot of links will go down against that. Double upgrades already on the way, as lair does start instantly. We're gonna have to wait whether it will be a faster forward pace, maybe a road warren as a follow-up, or a baneling nest. Most of the time when we see this type of lair rush, I am expecting a baneling nest to be thrown down. Yes, there we go. Serral here is kind of moving into that Ling Bane style that we're so familiar with from Zergs around the world. This is one of the things that has been weakened in the patch. Serral is up in supply massively, by the way, which is normal because production is delayed here for Cure. He's focused very much on the 1-1 upgrades and then the 2-2 upgrades. So now what are these 1-1 upgrades going to be good for? Quite frankly, for nothing. 1-1 upgrades will be useless except for the fact that they allow you to start 2-2 quickly. Because there is not enough infrastructure yet to really have a big burst attack at 1-1. Look, there's 6 Marines out. Starport starts only now, so that is fairly late. And the armory is going down. Look, we just have too many things in production. 1-1 timing is not going to be viable. However, a 2-2 timing is going to hit very fast and can hit very hard as well. The question is, will there be tanks with it? What else is there going to be with it? Is it going to be mines? Maybe a couple more barracks? Yes, that is indeed what we see. So we see here a massive investment in infrastructure. So a real weak initial push out coming out of Cure, or perhaps not even an actual push out. Keen on denying scouting here, which is going to be very important. As 2-2 is about to start, he really should start that. That is the one thing that matters for him in this game so far, is that his 2-2 will be in time. And gonna have to wait and see if that's going to be the case. Overseer trying to get in, but these Cyclones more so working as scouting detection than any type of interaction with the opponent whatsoever. 64 workers here for Serral, and this is a scary moment for him. Serral doesn't know what's kicking off. Does he have the balls to just straight up drone up? No, he built 36 Lings and 7 Banes against practically no threat, so he got tricked into building way more units than he needed to. We see a scan coming out of Cure. He sees there is a gas lacking. This is really all the confirmation that Cure needed. Now knows for a fact that this is not a Mutalisk build. Knows that it's going to be Ling Bane. So Cure has all information, and he's going to be pushing across the map in about... what is that? Well, I can't count, but it's soon, okay? It's like 80 seconds or so. He wants to be on the other side of the map with 3-4 medevacs and a crap ton of units. And more importantly, well upgraded units. 2-2 upgraded units against 1-1 upgraded units. Mine's not quite out yet. Do we have a tank on the way? No, we have a reactor here. It's gonna follow this up with Hellions. Now, that's the one unit I hadn't expected to come out. I could have seen Cyclones in the world. I could have seen Mines, but Hellions I didn't quite expect. This is very all in out of Cure, despite it looking good for him upgrade-wise. Just because you have good upgrades doesn't mean you're playing a macro game. He's actually playing an upgrade all-in. This is very rare to see. The last time I saw a build similar to this was on Hardwire between Rainer and Hero Marine in the semi-final of Intel Extreme Masters Katowice 2021, in which Rainer eventually won that game, but Hero Marine with a very powerful push. Back then, Hydra Link Bane was the defense that Rainer went for. Here we see pure Ling Bane coming out of Serral, and one of the things you really want to do against Adrax openers is counterattack. Counterattacking is your best friend. Counterattacking for Zerg is a little bit to what diamonds are to a woman. And we'll see if Serral is going to keep his friends happy here. And indeed, here comes the counterattack. It's real important. Ideally, he'd pretend to care about this base and then give it up. But it seems like Cure's just pushing up in very aggressively, not giving his opponent any time of day whatsoever. Lots of Marines are on the top side. Cure with a huge supply lead. No, he's going to get hit a couple of times. Loses a bunch of workers as well. So although the supplies look close, there's a lot of army here for Cure still alive. There's no 2-2 on the way for Serral. Serral not quite having the units to clean this up. Has cleared all of the workers on the other side though. With triple mules can still produce a decent chunk of bio. And that's what I'm afraid of. Baneling Nest is going to get destroyed here. So these, well, 13 Banelings will be the last Banelings that Serral gets to make in the next 45 seconds or so. Bane's now moving forward, wanting to connect with Marine. Splits are good. No, splits are phenomenal here. 2-2 Marine Marauder, absolutely blasting through this defense as Serral is going to drop the first map here. An absolutely innovative strategy coming out of Cure, who has come prepared. And Team World is down 0-1 in their first best of 5. Alrighty, map number 2 here is going to be Golden Aura. Oh, I gave 1 point there to Serral. I'm so used to giving points to Serral after the first game that it feels foreign to me that he doesn't quite have it. What are we gonna see now? That is the real question, of course. What are we gonna see? What can Serral do for us? I don't know. I'm of course a little bit biased here. Well, a little bit biased. I'm a huge fan of the foreign scene, so I'm cheering for the foreigners. So seeing Serral get taken out, this is kind of what I was afraid of before the match. I was talking with people and they were saying, why don't you send in Serral first? And I'm like, well, to me it feels like that ZVT is the biggest question mark right now in the patch. Like, how hard is it? How many builds have been created? Is that really where you want to put in the guy that is known for being consistent and stable, that hasn't had time to practice yet against the highest level of Terrans? Is that really where you want to risk it all? Or do you just want to have him against Hero in a ZVP matchup where, yes, the Banelings have been made a bit worse, but overall the early game hasn't changed? the late game hasn't changed, and if it has changed, it's changed in favor of Zerg most likely. So yeah, I personally thought that Astrea was going to be the superior pick here as the first match. Astrea, the weakest player in the foreigner team, in my mind. But very powerful, creative, innovative, and has the ability to take down high-level Terrans. He has shown that again and again and again. He's a smart player. If there's one person that I would want against Cure, I would want that to be Astrea. I would want to keep Serral for... Well, for hero, I'd want to keep Serral... I guess you don't want to keep Serral for Dark either, because Dark is pretty good in ZVZ against Serral, so that is of course a risk. But honestly, at the same time though, if Serral now takes out Cure, like, who is Team Korea gonna send in? I don't know. There's so many... It's so hard to make the correct calls. I often just thought about these scenarios back when Nation War still was a thing. And I just... It's very... Like, you can't really make the correct call because you don't know what the result is going to be, right? Sometimes someone has a bad day, sometimes someone has a good day, and sometimes someone says they're comfortable or confident, and then they go 0-3. It's like, well, thanks for the confidence. That was pretty useless, you know? So it's really hard in these team matches. A lot of it does just depend on the results, but I do doubt the decision of sending out Serral first. And of course, it's only the first game. Golden Aura, however, seems like a tricky map here to play for Zerg players. Middle part is very open. Yes, that's a given. But at the same time, look at all these chokes here. Little tank spots everywhere. Puff, puff. Even down here near the fort base, you have rocks and ramps and everything that sucks for Zerg is there. So some nice little choke. Not too bad of a choke here, but still. The few games that I have seen on this map have been quite good, honestly, for Terran. So yeah, I'm surprised to see this. I'm surprised to see this map even making it in. But then again, in a best of 5 out of 9 maps, you can only take out 2 maps per person. And Roodhuset Station, which is the very odd map, I think is completely broken in favor of Terran. So in my mind, that is a good veto. Then whatever Serral's second veto was, I'm not quite sure about. I could go back and check that after this game, though. First 2 links making their way across the map, trying to go in for a scout, get some information, not a whole lot, as the first 2 Cyclones are out. Followed up with a medevac, and this is something I'm expecting to see a whole lot more of. Cure has a lot of builds here. This is just what I was afraid of, is that Cure heard yesterday, it's like, okay, we have a show match, or a show match, it's a match for 10k, but it's also for show, it's to entertain the fans. And he was like, I was getting ready to sleep, you know, he put on his pajamas with little marines on it. He brushed his teeth already. Cure always brushes his teeth, sometimes even twice at night, just to make sure they're extra clean. But he said, no, you know what? I'm changing back into my gamer clothes. He put on his gamer pants and his gamer shirt. He put on like the yellow tinted glasses, you know, the gamer glasses. Put on his large boots made for fishing boots. Then he sat behind his PC. Did his little starting ritual and then spent the next 12 hours just creating build outers out of nothing. Out of the grey matter in his brain. That's where it came from, alright? This guy's a genius. You give this guy 12 hours to come up with builds. He has 12 different Cyclonal links, okay? Whoop. With a Liberator, without a Liberator. With 4 cars, with 2 cars, with 6 cars. Sometimes there's a Banshee. There's always 2 E-Bays though in the end. No matter what happens, Cure always gets the E-Base. Liberator now moving in. Serral hasn't quite spotted yet, as there's just a single queen. Actually, second queen there as well. Serral, of course, way too fast. I feel like building Liberators against Serral is always wrong, just because Serral is too fast. Hey, he loses 2 drones and you lost a Liberator. Liberator is really expensive. Also takes a lot of time to build. Like, this might work if you're playing versus my off race, but it seems like Liberator against the fast European Zergs isn't worth it. Also not against Dark. So I think against Dark, against Raynor, and against Serral, it's just no point. You really think you're gonna outspeed them? No shot. Okay, these guys, they do a line of cocaine with their cereal, you know? They're insane. It's instant speed, these guys. Instant speed. 67 workers to 50. Spire here on the way in the natural. So we're going to see some Mutas after the failed attempt of playing Ling Bane in the previous game. Serral now believes that the only solution to Terran is flying units. Now, for the people that are not familiar with flying units have a special ability as they do not care really about terrain, where most units, which we call ground units, they need to move over walkable terrain, but flying units don't have that problem. And a medevac is also one of those flying units. You can move over what we often call dead space. It's space where you can't do anything. Well, unless you're a flying unit. Now, Muta has a particularly strong flying unit. It also deals a lot of damage. Nice little run by here by Serral. Showing once again that he is the GOAT. Gets in here and pretty much just straight up wins the game with, I think, what is just supposed to be a tiny poke. Yeah, this is like sneezing in your opponent's direction and your opponent gets a heart attack. It's kind of what it felt like here. Serral's giving up this base. This looks bad because he lost the base, but in reality this is okay. He's saying, hey, I'm willing to give up this base if I can send in another counterattack. And he is sending in another counterattack. He's getting a couple of these SCVs down. He's forcing reinforcements to stay at home as well. And this is a key thing that is often underestimated. So these units ideally would be here right now. We see army supply 72 against 58. In reality, there's a lot of armies still at home right now for Cure. These Lings are gonna come in the end and clean everything up. Queen's also helping out. Not the cleanest fight, but a good enough fight. 66 workers versus 43. There's still an alternative fort base. This is very good about alternative forts. It's really the opposite of alternative medicine as it actually tends to work. You just take 2 fort bases at the same time, and then when they attack one, you counterattack and give up the first base, instead of the alternative base. Always works. Always works. Now, +2 here is on the way for Serral. Oh, sorry, for Cure. For a second I thought that Serral started playing Terran. Actually, Serral has been, people don't know this, Serral has been playing quite a bit of Terran. I think it's like 6-3, 6-4 right now. I played him on the ladder the other day, and he just massed battlecruisers versus me. I thought I was being memed or something by like Uthermal's YouTube account. I'm like, how the heck is this? Then I checked who it was, and it was Serral. I'm like, what? Why did you do that to me? I, of course, did destroy him. It's the first time in 2 years that I took a map of Serral, and it was versus his Terran while he was trying to do troll builds. But you gotta take all the wins you can get if you're in my position. 5 SCVs go down, and there's nothing really here to deal with those Mutalisks. This could be an issue. Now, the initial fort base is being built back up, but the alternative fort is going down, and this isn't here quite yet. Killing 9 workers is nice. And this is a huge run by. This is almost Dark-esque. This is exactly how Dark would have done this. Ooh. He couldn't have... Okay. Serral not believing in the committal there. Saying, no, I'm not committed to this quite yet. Maybe with a prenup, but not like this. So this is gonna get pushed back a little bit. Mutas once again. Ooh, 7 more Mutas? This isn't a Mutalist situation, is it? Cure hasn't built a worker in the past 15 minutes. And a Mutalisk is, as stupid as it sounds, is an economy unit. It's a unit that gains you something over time when it harasses. It gets life back quickly. No, Serral, what are you doing? Right-clicks that depot, damages it, but also loses 2 Mutas. So the Muta, you need a lot of time for it to kind of be worth it. It's not a great fighting unit. You'd rather be investing money in something else rather than more Mutas. But Serral here says, no, actually, more Mutas is okay here, Harstem. How many World Championships have you won? Well, 0. That's true. So we're gonna listen to Serral's advice here. Lots of Marines out. There's 2 tanks. Don't you wish you had a couple more Banelings right now, Serral, huh? Maybe those 7 Mutas not so smart after all. How about that? Wants to wait until 2-2 is done, as once again the alternative fort base is going to come in handy. Mutas from the back picking off a couple of reinforcements, but is that really worth the 1400 resource investment that you just made into those 7 extra Mutas? I don't think it is. If you can get a tank that's big, though, you're gonna need more than just a tank. These positions are crazy. Absolutely crazy. 2-2 is done. Muta still going ham. Here comes an attack. It's just from one side, though. This is not it, Serral, is it? There's lots of Marines in the back. Marines are attacking. Oi, oi, oi. Cure misjudging a little bit. Didn't move back a large clump of those Marines. Now Serral is pushing through, and with the help of the Mura is going to be capable of cleaning this up. I feel like he can chase this. Serral doesn't believe so, and neither does Cure, so going to defer to their judgment for now, as they're the ones playing and much better than I am. Marines apparently are pretty strong against Pure Ling Mura. Banelings need to be rebuilt here. Creep has pretty much disappeared. Now the Muras are coming in handy, picking off individual Marines that are trying to reinforce. This group might just be a little bit too strong, but at least you force a stim out of here. Medevac count is 6 though, so forcing stims perhaps not the greatest thing that you can do. Tank on the way to help out. And the Mura flock is moving towards the right side. 61 drones against 46 SCVs. As if he targets the correct medevacs here, it is like a game of roulette. Or like the game with the balls. You know, they put a ball under the cups and then they start moving the cups quickly around. And then they take your money. And if you do figure out where the ball is, then their friends rob you later on. Trust me, this is a game where even if you win, you haven't really won it. What I've learned from crime TV shows is that they're always scamming you. Either they're trying to keep you busy and they're robbing your hotel room, or they're kidnapping your daughter or something. Where you go? Where's the ball? It's under one of these cups. And it's the same with medevacs. You might as well not bother. Just set up your next run by. Pretend like life is okay. 20 Muras are out right now. That is a decent chunk of Muralisk. I know what I would do if I had 20 Muras. Probably idle them in this part of the map. Pretend like I'm multitasking. Taking out these upgrades would be huge because there's no sustainable way right now for Serral to really get to his own +3. That is huge that he gets the attack upgrade rather than the armor as well. Extra barracks here are being taken out. There's still no fort base. I don't think so, at least. So I'm not entirely sure why we're getting 3 more barracks, but Cure believes it's useful. He's 45 workers. I feel like if you're 45 workers on 3 base, you shouldn't be capable of producing from 8 barracks, but then again, what do I know? Like, he's producing 4 Marines at a time right now. I feel like production is the one thing he isn't lacking. Muras are flying around. Ooh, mines almost get connections there. Pneumatized Carapace starts instantly as he wants to get some overseers with this army. Worker count back up to 69. That's nice for Serral, who is always very good at just kind of sneaking in a drone here and there, you know? You have these players that are... They'll play a low eco game and they'll low eco forever. You know, Serral just builds like 2 drones here and then it's like 7 Muras and a drone. You're like, what's that drone doing? You know? But he does that 6 times and he's added 6 drones in a game where it felt like he couldn't fit in a single drone, you know? If he would have built all 6 at the same time, that would have been crazy. Serral's really good at sneaking stuff in like that. He's gonna try and take out one of these mines. Let's take out one of these mines. And it's feeling phenomenal here. I think Bane's gonna attack as well. Or actually attacks, just gonna chill here on creep, which feels good. 3-3 is about to finish up, or at least +3 armor. Here comes Serral, wants to trade out some of these units. Ling Bane is rolling into Marauders. It's not quite the greatest fight. Where's the rest of the Muras? All on the right side. Not really here with this battle. Not a great little fight here. At least, not in my mind. As we have +3 attack coming in. 25 Muras are out. Still flying around. I'm surprised that those Muras didn't do anything while the fight was going on. That makes almost no sense here to me. When I say almost no sense, I mean, it makes no sense to me. I feel like they're either in the fight or they're harassing. But just flying in idle space doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Turrets being taken out one by one. As I think 3 fell so far. It's just going to be hard for Cure to ever take an engagement. So the reality of things here is this. All right? Hear me out. Cure right now is going to max out. Serral wants to fight on his opponent's side of the map, so he has the ability to remax. So we're looking here at an army value of, well, more army for Serral. But there's also still the bank. Cure needs to get rid of the bank. And the longer this game goes, the bigger the bank is going to be. Now, Cure is going to have more army supply if he maxes out. That is the only advantage he has, though. So here you see Serral. He jumps on any opportunity he has, okay? It's like a testosterone-filled 14-year-old over here. He wants to go as fast as he can. Mura's now flying in towards the main base, and we'll try and clear as many reinforcements as possible. That makes this push extremely all-in. Kjur's gonna send this back, which seems weird, but also makes some sense. I wouldn't mind us seeing like 1 or 2 infestors in here. Would have really helped. But at the same time, it's probably also not very necessary. Serral has 40 larvae available. Ultra Cavern is also something that could be built here, but perhaps too late now. Muras are being pushed back. As Serral once again sending in all of his Banes this time around. Mine count is too low to really do anything about this at all. So a lot of Banes have fallen, and now the Muras come in, have flown through I think one of these mines somewhere. I do believe that Serral is doing it, but I feel like we're lacking infestors here. I'm loving this run by. This is brilliant. This is good. This is smart. This is high tier because this forces Kjur's hand even more. I almost feel like that Serral is forcing Kjur's hand a bit too much. Oh no, that was perfect. Kjur forgot the micro there for a second, and he's gonna lose a crap ton of Marines. Army supply is still very close. Kjur is in his face though, and that's what's scaring me. Yes, Muras can still come back. Yes, Lynx can still come back, and I guess there's plenty of reinforcements coming in as well, so it shouldn't be much of an issue. Marines are trying to stay alive, and they're doing a pretty decent job at that as well. 102 supply to 199. We still have 7 larvae available. This base, yes, it gets taken out. But even in a base trade scenario, I'm practically favoring Serral here. GG gets called as Serral ties up the series 1-1 on Golden Aura. A difficult map for Zerg, but a win nonetheless for the young Finn. Third map here is going to be played on site Delta. Now, I don't know if this is a good map or a bad map, but it is a map. Ooh, with a low ground barracks. And a gas first. Okay, this is the same opener that Gumiho played on this particular map that I saw Clem play on Altitude versus Serral. And the way it goes is very simple. Gas first, barracks on the low ground, put a CC, and then a factory next to it. You get Reaper, factory, reactor, swap the barracks with the factory, 2 Cyclones, then you build another Reaper with the barracks. So you have 2 Reapers, 2 Cyclones, and you can really fight Queens in a nasty, nasty way. Then you just keep reinforcing with like 6 Hellions, and then you go into Banshee or something like that. That is a way you can do it. There's many different follow-ups, so I want to see how Kjur is going to follow up, but I do believe that the initial thing that you do is going to be the 2 Cyclone, 2 Reaper opener, which is just really cool and very powerful. But we're getting too far ahead of ourselves here. For the people that are wondering as well, the servers that are being played are West, Central, West, Central, West. So Koreans at a 1 map advantage when it comes to server advantage, especially given that Serral is from Finland, which has relatively poor connection to most of the US servers anyway. So yeah, I think it's a significant disadvantage here for Serral. And this has been the standard setup that most major online tournaments have been going for, is that 3 server advantages go to the Koreans and 2 for the Europeans. For a long time, it was the other way around. I still believe there should be made a distinction between people in West Europe and like basically the eastern parts of Europe or Central Europe. And also, you know, people that live far further towards the south, maybe it's also worse, depending on how the cables run exactly. But the reality of online plays, of course, is that ping does matter. And a difference of 30-40 ping can be the difference between keeping your unit alive or not keeping your unit alive. So, or keeping your army alive. You know, being capable of retargeting. And all of these things do matter. I always find it a bit weird that we've kind of just accepted the reality that Koreans always get the 1 server advantage now. Of course, I'm biased because I'm a nasty European. So I would rather see Central being played, you know, another time. In general, I hate ping. So just something to always keep in mind. When you see these online matches, this is why I love offline competition so much. It's because there's none of that. You know, it's just 1 versus 1, boom. No excuses, no nothing. The only thing you can whine about is that you didn't sleep well or you're jet lagged. Yeah, I guess you can always whine about that, I guess. CC right now in the main base. So this is a different follow-up than I had expected. It's going to be 2 Cyclone into 2 Hellion. Never build a second Reaper. See, we're just learning new build orders here the entire day. I'm telling you, with Cure, this is kind of what I expected with Cure. You know, yeah, good luck with that, Serral. You had 12 links. You wanted to fight this. What do you think is going to happen, buddy? You're going to lose every single link that you've ever had in your life. Oh! If he cleans these out, that would be huge. I think he missed the timing. Serral not knowing timings, that's a first. Here you can see that he's still new to it, because I think his plan was to clear these 2 Cyclones. And I think he could have with that run by if he was 5-6 seconds faster. Doesn't look like Cure's a little bit afraid right now. He's continuing Cyclone production as well, as he adds 2 more barracks into the mix. Just a really weird setup all around. You know, if you're Serral here, you're almost starting to believe that it might be mech. Imagine that Serral throws on like a Roach Warren, and then it ain't mech. That would not be good. Roach in general are really bad. Okay, it's going to be Baneling Nest here. I guess he has scouted the fact that they're stim researching, so not likely candidate for a mech game. 6 Cyclones, 4 Hellions, 24 links. This is a very tight rope that Serral is walking here. Here comes the flank. Once again misses reinforcements, which makes life so much harder for Serral. Never gets these reinforcement Cyclones, which are very slow of course and easy to surround, and are absolutely god-awful when they're surrounded. Really only good with Hellion support. These 2 Hellions moving forward will not get taken out. Combat starts right now. The starport is very late. Extra barracks being added in. As always, the double E-base are there. This fort base is toast. Like, this is a nice dream that you have, Serral. But some dreams don't come true. And this one definitely won't. Bit unrealistic, boss. Loving the double expand, though. Once again, alternative medicine takes a W here. The homeopathic fort base here will survive. Centrifugal hooks. 40 out of 71. Look at this go, man. There's no creep. These links are stuck in the corner. Even the alternative fort base can't do anything. This is ridiculous. He's gonna get a cleanup here on aisle 3. Centrifugal hook still not quite done, and this is a significant value that is lost here for Cure. Look at that supply just kind of plummet there for a sec. Upgrades have kept up. Creep has disappeared everywhere. Like, that looked crazy. That looked so sick. Following it up with another factory. Forgot his +1 armor for a bit as the Ling run by comes in. Serral with a way more aggressive approach to this matchup than we've seen him do in the past. Just constant run bys. It's really like he's just taken a page out of the Book of Dark. Just these constant run bys are putting in so much work over here. And his control, as always, is phenomenal. Near perfect. This base is still alive. 5th base now is being reset up. There's 10 more drones in production. That's a risky round of drones, let me tell you that. Infestation pit on the way as well. Macro hatch in the main base. He's definitely been watching some dark, because he's also floating an insane amount of resources. That is fairly normal pre-Baneling morph, but I don't think you can morph enough Banelings to really empty this bank. Not in the moment. There's also 6 gases. 5 gases, sorry. I thought it was 6. Well, 5 gases is pretty standard. I'd love to just see 2-3 infestors here being built instantly. Start a 2-2 upgrade, start 2-3 infestors and get into Hive. I think this is a very fair way of playing right now. That would make so much sense to me. Serral playing the game of his life. There's no fort base on the way quite yet here for Cure. We should be capable of throwing it down, but hasn't. Drop in the main base is going to unload. Serral perhaps in a bit of trouble. Hive on the way as... 10 more drones as well coming in. We have action all over the map, but it's just minor action, you know? There's nothing big here. Nothing big quite yet. Another run-by is being set up here, as Serral doesn't want his opponent to ever move on the map, it seems like. Wants to quickly get into Hive, and the question now is going to be, what tech will Serral go for? I still don't quite understand the complete lack of infestors here, especially with the given gas bank. It seems like Ultras or Vipers. Linkbait Viper could be a possibility. I mean, if Serral can just take out Cure like this, that would be sick. Huge W in that case for Team World. Cure, though, being very careful not to overstep. There's a set of boundaries that he won't cross. Oh, Serral! Yes, yes. Forgot to look for a sec. And as a result, loses 9 drones. Same time, we have Hellbats in this comp. I think these were some Hellions from earlier on. Ling Bane rolls in. And these mines burrow in time. Ooh. One more big hit as 3 mines do end up falling there. This is a good run by. If you can clear this fort base, that would be huge. There's not enough Banes in this army to deal. Well, maybe there is actually. I think there might just be enough Banes in that army. Fort base is not gonna get cancelled. I don't think so. A kill on a base is always bad. These 2 mines will get taken out. Cheeky little pickup here. Yep, why not? Just routing units to the left. We haven't actually seen a real macro game yet. The first game, Cure all-in. The second game, I don't think Cure wanted to all-in, but he lost so many workers that he kind of had to. And in this game, he lost his fort base, and we're 11 minutes in. It's soon to be 6 versus 3 bases. Like, Cure technically is once again pretty much all-inning. Like, he needs to deal serious damage in the next 45 seconds. And if he doesn't, and he's in trouble. Vipers are now out. I still don't understand the lack of a late game tech choice, but it seems like Serral just doesn't really seem to care about my opinion at all. It always hurts me. Maybe these Banes can get a hit. Woo! Huge friendly fire mine there. This is going to move in towards the main. Lynx do have Adrenal Gland. So usually you'd look at a fight like this and say, well, Lynx can't fight that. With Adrenal, however, that's a big boost there in damage output. The Hydralisk then is now on the way. Banelings rolling in. Serral is losing quite a bit of supply. At the same time gets a clear here on the top side. Cure also loses some supply. And it's... Look, I'm real happy for you, Cure, that you're getting this 6 base. Okay? That's real cool. But you're just now starting to saturate your own fort. It's like... Eco-wise, this is not a match. You know, Serral is just out-mining him left, right, and center. And even resources lost-wise, this is not really a match either. Oh, that mine hit was bad as well. That was slightly better, but still not quite great. Serral always splits up the right amount of Banes, the right amount of Lynx, just blowing up mines, blowing up whatever he wants. And honestly, yeah, A-tier play here coming out of Serral. I don't want to say he's the best, but... he is very good. Now, I don't hear people talk about this, but I think Serral might be one of the best players currently in the world. This is just what I personally feel. He's going to push himself in here. Doesn't really get anything done, though. Burrow now on the way. We still don't have any infestors. There's also not a single ghost out. So really both players are lacking something there. The Hydra transition is a little bit confusing for me. I don't necessarily rate the Hydra very much. I rate the Hydra the same way that I rate Mustard. That it has a very small niche. I don't feel like we're currently in that niche though. Like right now we have a pizza, and if you show up with a bottle of mustard while I'm eating my pizza, we're not friends anymore. Now, it might just be for the lurker, that I do appreciate though. These Marauders are going to tank a couple of the Baneling shots. At the same time we have a push here towards the top. Serral's just always in position though. It's like multitasking against this guy is no point. He's too fast. Just give up. Yeah, just playing series in general has no point. The moment you see this guy show up in the lobby screen, you know you're gonna lose. Might as well save all of us some time and just instantly... This guy's insane. This guy's mental. He's so fast. He's playing so well. His engages, like the micro, the understanding of the matchup, it is inhuman. Absolutely. Is he getting help from an AI? Is Serral perhaps the AI himself? And are humans helping him? There's so many questions. And none of them have been answered quite yet. But my research team is on it. How the hell is Cure doing this, by the way? He's on 4 bases versus 7. Now, I'm not saying that Terran Eco is busted, but... If I was a Protoss player against a Terran and I had 4 bases, the Terran had 7, and the Protoss were to win that game, or even look like he could possibly win it, Terrans would be whining for the next 5 years. Okay? They'd be referring to that game. Like it would be like their Bible, basically. You know, they'd quote timestamps in it. And at 25:11, I remember I was at 9 bases, ghost stacking up 2 upgrades, and yet this Protoss player wouldn't leave. Like, mate, calm down. I'll just start referring back to this game on Site Delta. It's actually relatively close as well. Army supply is fairly close. Overseer is still just chilling in the natural. We're going up to 5 bases versus 7. There's a number that I like more here for Cure. Mines are still not really connecting in a big way. But the Banes are just not hitting either. Like, the Banes are not reaching their target. They're all just dying a bit too soon. Almost as if they've been recently nerfed. We don't have a single lurker out. And Serral does rush in right now. He's gonna catch some of these SCVs. Can this planetary survive? Look at these links go, man. No, I think he could have taken that. At the same time, Cure's breaking through. What is this? 55 workers, 121 army supply. Against 80, as the Baneleys are not connecting. Now we get what you call it, a parasitic bomb, a blinding cloud. We get all of it. Income still much higher here for Serral as he cleans up these tries to clean up these mines. He's not really doing it. Top side is going to get cleaned up. Well, except for a couple of units. Medevac's not with too much energy, so these guys are not going to be useful for quite a while. Serral needs time. The question now is Cure gonna give it to him? I don't know. You're asking me, will Serral's army grow? I don't know. Ooh, he has lurkers though. 5 lurkers. Adaptive talents are here. Seismic spines are here. No way. Serral. Okay, if these are on hold fire, this is going to be epic. No, Serral. You gangster. No one knew this. Serral's secretly an Italian mobster with these types of tricks. Holy crap. Okay, he's gonna unburrow. He's gonna reburrow though. Now, he's waiting for a moment that's never gonna come, isn't it? That is something that ain't happening, Serral. It's a good attempt though. This is not it. Oh no. Oh no. Ladies and gentlemen. No, not yet. Oh! Ladies and gentlemen, we've got him. That was a cheeky little 20-25 supply that went down there instantly. Beautiful stuff here coming out of Serral. Instantly moves forward, has more Banes coming in. This base is going to be toast. There we go. Flies in here, boom. Throws down a blinding cloud on it. Oh, parasitic bomb from the left field. What was that? Good control though here, Cure, with that medevac split. More and more lurkers coming in. Serral is just so much better than his opponent. It is not fair. Oop. Couple of snipes. Big, very big snipes. It's another lurker. Look at this. Oh, he should have hold position again. If he would have done it twice in one game, I feel like I should give him like a special reward. They have like a guy giving you the thumbs up, you know, the guy who put the lurker hold fire button in the game. It's like some developer, some sweaty Blizzard developer. Probably left at this point during the Great Blizzard Exile. Ooh, there's a random lurker here positioned as well. And you get a congrats, Serral, you have the sweaty developer achievement. Use the hold fire lurker button to kill more than 20 supply twice in a row. God, I'd love to see it. Like, this is why Serral is so good, you know? You got a little Ling on there here as well. Lovely to see. Absolutely lovely to see. Can we get an infestor, maybe? Oh! We have two. They're in the worst positions imaginable, but that's still fine. I'd rather have them at the worst positions. Oh, no. Serral. This is disrespect at this point. You know that, right? This is bait as well. Look at this magnet. I'm an overseer, just having a good time. Just hanging around. Yeah, just wondering what's kicking off over here. Oh, you think you can kill me? Yeah, come on in. It's the last thing these guys will ever see. Oh, couple of snipes coming in. 1, 2 lurkers will fall. Third lurker will fall. Oh, no surround. Infestor here would have been huge. That's all I'm saying, okay? Infestor here would have been huge. Having any defense here also would have been quite nice. Cure, meanwhile, still on 4 bases. Resources lost 39k to 30k. It's not the end of the world for Serral, who's now taking the top right side. Gets hit in the face there by a pretty large mine. There's no planetary here. There's no tank. There's also no more mines. Now, I can't predict the future, but I do believe that Cure is about to type 2 letters in rapid succession in a couple of seconds from now. This game is freaking over. Serral with a masterclass of Terran versus Zerg. You're literally using all the tricks in the book. Gonna lose these Banes. This is the first mistake that Serral has made this game. Losing 6 Banes to 1 mine. Lurkers now moving forward. It's like he's like everywhere. He's just everywhere. He's left, right, he's center. GG gets called. As Serral wins game number 3 and puts himself on match point. Well, best of 5 point. And then his long streak can finally start of destroying Korea. 1 by 1 by 1. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 4 here. And we're playing the map that I hadn't expected. Radhuset Station. It's a Radhuset Station. It's a station near Stockholm. A metro stop. And the word Radhuset means city hall. At least in Norwegian, but probably also in Swedish. I'm not sure about that. The Norwegian people told me that the other day. So it means city hall. I bet it means the same in... But it means the same in Swedish. But yeah, it's a Swedish station. That's what it's based upon. On the Swedish train station. Metro station it is. If this is what Swedish metro stations look like though, then I'm not going to Sweden anytime soon. What the heck is this? This looks dangerous. Are these the bones of a human, or is it like dinosaurs roaming around? It's like, what is the dust as well? Like a pyramid over here, the Illuminati. Always wondered where they were residing. Apparently it's at the Radhuset station. What the heck is this? You keep your little brother busy with this. Tell him to count the amount of rocks that are here on this map. That is ridiculous. This is not a real map. Alright. Pool first into gasless. Pretty much what I had expected. So what happens with these rocks? If you attack one of them, all of them will start dying at the same time. And then you still need to get through the mineral wall as well. He's gonna play gasless as an opener. Pool first gasless. At the same time, Cure is playing CC first into a very rapid factory. No, wait, this wasn't... Wait, what was this? No, this was CC first. What? Was this like a gas first? Did he play CC first into gas into barracks? How's that factory so fast? That makes no sense at all. I think that's what happened here. But I wasn't paying attention because I was taking a look at the map. You can't build a CC here, can you? Look at him. Yeah. I was testing that out the other day. You just can't. There's no space over here. Nice try, buddy. Because it's too close to the minerals. Oh. We're gonna see a very campy game. So this is one of the maps where I looked at it and I thought to myself, this seems insane for a map. And then other people told me that I'm just too close-minded as a professional player and I don't know what fun is. So I'm really looking forward to this game. Now, the reason why I didn't really like this map is because I believe the first 7 minutes we're gonna have 2 interactions, perhaps, and that's going to be it. Because there's a single ramp leading to defend 3 bases, and then there's a single attack path, basically. But it will count this as a single choke you can hold. Like 1 tank position there can hold 4 bases. So, unless you're going for a very precise all-in timing, like maybe a Nidus or Swarm Host is something I could see, I don't quite understand how this map is going to give us any interactive gameplay. But, then again, what do I know about StarCraft 2? I'm just a poor pro gamer. And my story seldom told. I have wandered my resistance for a pocket full of promises. All lies in jest. Till the StarCraft fan hears what he wants to hear and disregards the rest. La la la. 4 overlords at the same time. What the heck is this? Supply block for Serral. Gods can bleed after all. Quick layer coming in. This feels like Mura play to me. If he actually plays Swarm Host, it's going to be the greatest day of my life if he plays Swarm Host. If he plays Swarm Host Nidus, I take everything back that I said about this map. It will be the greatest thing ever. Serral might be in a bit of trouble, no? That's a lot of Cyclones. And there's no units, or hardly any. 2 queens go down instantly. 3 queens go down. There's no speed quite yet. That looked pretty scary there for a sec. I ain't gonna lie, that's 3 queens, 5 links for 2 cars. That's what we call a very successful trade. Can you even play Swarm Host Nidus? No shot. It's just going to be Mura. It's the only thing that makes any sense here. Baneling Nest goes down. It's going to throw down a 4th base as well. Don't you know Nidus it up? If the Spire, right? Surely it's Spire. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Serral can boogie. But only on the Raadhuset station. Meanwhile, we have 3 barracks behind this. Serral scouting information consisting of actually quite a bit. Much more than I had expected when I started that sentence. Overseer comes in. It's gonna see some standard information. Good split on the queens. There's a lot of Cyclones here. It's actually scaring me. I don't think he can stop this, can he? The problem with Cyclones is that they do so well versus queens. It's the only unit that can actually clear a queen. That isn't a tank. But you can actually kind of trade, and I don't think Zergs like it very much. First 7 Mutas are now coming out. Oh, a miscommand there out of Serral. Losing a bunch of those links for free. Queen count is up to 9. 11 Mutas now coming out. $11 Mutas. going in. Now there's turrets in position. There's Marines at home. There's no 4 CCs. We're still on 5 racks, just producing units. Here comes Cure. This move does carry some serious risk. He didn't micro properly there. Serral at the same time is not really achieving a whole lot with his Mutas. Hey, this base should never be going up. Cure is really dropping the ball in a serious manner here. Muta still just kind of roaming around, looking for pickups here. First Thor is on the way. Second time that Serral has played Muta in this series. Oh, Mutas. Perhaps in the process of being caught here in between a rock and a hard place. Yeah. That's a place you definitely don't want to go. Kind of in limbo. I don't think Serral can ever really leave this general area. It's very weird how this works. There's so much map control, so much freedom here for Cure. I think all these Mutas are actually dead if Cure plays this properly. I just don't see a way for these Mutas to truly run out, unless they manage to squeeze by right now, which is exactly what they do. Cure could just stim towards the right and take out these Mutas. It's not quite. Yes, way too late with the stim. Poor anticipation coming out of Cure here. Didn't quite understand what was going on. As Serral squeezes out, he's still going to lose one. No, he's going to lose all of them if he ain't careful. It's once again just in this weird position. And this is bad trades. He did win a lot of time for himself as he's up to 85 workers. But he needs to start trading at some point. And I'm having a difficult time seeing him trade well against someone that's going to be up 2 upgrades. Because that's what Cure is here. Up 2 upgrades, up 20 army supply. Almost no creep spread whatsoever. 21 Banes out. 8 gas and 83 workers are nice, but 2 upgrades and 8 mines are also pretty nice. Hey, let's face facts here. Serral is looking to get that gold. The problem for Serral is there's no way for him to do any counter damage. Like, he just can't get any units around. It's impossible. So just getting choked out here, and I just don't see a realistic scenario for Serral to do something. I just don't understand that. I don't understand what he's supposed to do, exactly. This seems like such a hard map. Like, I'm very surprised that this map made it in and he didn't veto this. This seemed to me like the most obvious veto in the world as a Zerg player, but I guess he really wanted to play Muta without Ling. Well, we'll see. We have a bit of a fight here. Well, a bit of a fight. That is a massive fight. Lots of banelings are going down. It looked good for a second, but then you realize that Cure didn't really lose anything. Kept all of his Thors alive, kept majority of his medevacs alive, and is just replacing Marines. For Serral, there was a really bad fight. Serral doesn't have a bank left. Serral has 0 Banes, well, 17 Banes right now, 8 more on the way. But that's pretty much it. This is as far as it's gonna go. These fights are all off creep. 2-2 is still not done for Serral, so these upgrades are heavily in favor of Cure. Oh my god, that was some friendly fire there. If that hadn't happened, I think Cure just walks over and wins the game. That was huge. Killing like 10-12 Marines in one shot is exactly what you don't want if you're a Terran player. Yeah, Muta's not really looking good if you can't use Ling Bane as a run-by mechanism or ever get any map control whatsoever. Like, Serral's just kind of stuck here in one place. Complete inability of dealing any damage to the opponent. We don't have Burrow here, so these Lings can deny it a little bit, I guess, by just being there. Cure actually sending his entire army to go deal with it, which is obviously a mistake, because he's losing some pressure. Losing some map presence. Serral now perhaps looking to take this gold base. For now, just expanding towards the top left side. Muta count is rising. And you're really always just like one move away from kind of breaking through with Mutas, right? If you can snipe 2-3 turrets here, then all of a sudden these bases are all open for the Muta harass. And that's a big deal, you know? That's a very big deal. I don't know why Serral is just continuously just sniping refineries. No gas for you, my friend. No benefit to me, but you don't get gas no more. Interesting stuff. Very anti-American move. Serral was an American player, he would have dropped the drone, taken the extractor. It's ours now. Yeah, Baneling's moving forward soon. The top left side base here is under some heavy siege. This is all just going to be off creep. I just don't think Serral can fight this. The Thor not being here is a very big, very big move. Or well, a big lag really, because it means there's nothing in front. But I don't think it matters. It's 3-3 versus 2-2. Serral has what, 13 Banes left. Yeah, I don't think it's viable. I don't think he can fight. I don't think he can fight. And Cure takes out one base. Just needs to regroup ever so slightly. Get a couple more Mutalisks. Or sorry, a couple more Medivacs out. He needs to... No, Cure. We need to calm down right now. I think Cure's going too fast. I think Cure might just be going too fast. Look at how empty these Medivacs are. This is a perfect time to actually get that Medivac upgrade to recharge the energy, because this is extremely overstimmed here. Mutas are trying to take out the reinforcements. We just need to relax for a second, okay? Heal up this army, Cure, and then take it from there. That's what you need to do right now, alright? Relax and take it from there, because the 3-3 advantage is still there for a little bit. You're still going to be taking fights off creep majority of the time. And I don't really see a way for Serral to do anything still. Like, how is he going to... Like, how is a run by here possible? It's not. This is a planetary and this is sealed off. Maybe a link drop here could be something. Gold will get shot. I doubt that Cure right now is aware of the fact that there's a base on the 6 o'clock, as these Mutas snipe a Thor, and now a lot of Mutas in some trouble. Resources lost is 22k to 15k. Not great if you're a Serral fan. This is all done on 5 bases, by the way. Serral, meanwhile, is just trying to grow all over the map, but it ain't quite working out for him. 10 more Mutas. Infestation Pit is here. Hive is here. And once again, I don't like doubting Serral, and I don't like making calls, especially in matchups that I am not as familiar with as the players are. But to me, it feels like any type of transition at this point would be better than what we're currently seeing. So just sprinkling in an infestor here, especially with the Burrow upgrade, if you can get that, would be huge. Just getting an Ultra Cavern, you know, this is still a very large marine force. Sure, there are a couple of Marauders here, but it's a very large marine force, and against that I think Ultras are not so bad. And I think if you're continuously fighting off creep, infestors would be so useful. These Mutas are now entering the main base. That's 19 of them. There's really nothing in position to deal with this, by the way. This base is practically empty, so not the most important thing. Serral still has a chance. If he can hold this fight and the Muta base trade goes well, I see a future here for Serral in which he is okay. Thor comes back home as a couple of these barracks get taken out. 2 so far. I don't think that's quite enough. Marauders here moving in forward. It's being sent in one by one at the moment. The Spine Crawler is a very ambitious spine. And as a result, it dies. That teaches us a valuable lesson about how evil ambition is. That spine was ambitious, okay? He wanted to move forward. He wanted to contribute to society. Keep it safe. What happened to him? Shot by the C-14 Gauss rifles of the Marines. Disgusting stuff. What is this? These guys are sneaky. Yeah, I gotta get found out right now. Caught with the hand in the cookie jar. Serral. I thought you were on a diet. That's a whole lot of cookies you got going there, buddy. Sure you want to do that? Cure right now building up a significant bank. As, 14 Banes on the way. Is it... So far, all of these fights have been off creep with a similar army composition to this. And so far, these fights have been going in Cure's favor. We're now in a situation where Cure has a bigger bank. He's pretty much mirroring the base count of his opponent. And we're still working just with the same army. So the fights will continue going crap for Serral. But now there's not even the eco to back it up anymore. Liberator sieging up, and Cure's playing this quite patiently. Banelings exploding on Marauders is not what you want. There's just nothing to explode on, because this is all off creep. These Banelings will never reach their target. GG gets called. Serral gets destroyed here on Radhuset Station. Radhuset. And Cure, with a 2-2, ties it up. Alright, game number 5 here on Hardlat. Yes, Hardlat Alley. It's the ladder edition of the map. All of these maps are, of course, the ladder edition. We have a natural. We have a main. Now, what do we have as a third base? We have a line third here. We have a triangle third over here. If you take the triangle third, you can kind of go over here, which doesn't actually seem nice, so I wouldn't recommend that. If you take the line third, you can go to the forward fourth. It does feel nice. And then you take this as a fifth. I feel like that's what he'll do. Ooh, CC first again, just like last game. Serral opens up with Hatch first, so different from last game. And a delayed gas. Imagine this actually being Roach Ravager. Because it's going to be a very delayed gas here, actually. So a much faster third base. If he's the moment Serral sees the complete lack, or sorry, the timing on the CC here, I think he's going to be quite happy with himself with that delayed speed, because you don't need quick speed against someone that opens up CC first. For the people wondering, this tourney is called the Hastily Thrown Together 10k tournament or something like that. So basically the story is that the owner of Team DKZ, the merger between, what was it, Dragon Phoenix Gaming and Kaisi Gaming, DKZ, he was bored during a Chinese holiday, which is happening right now. So he contacted the organizers of the WTL and said, hey, I have 10k, put on some StarCraft event for me, please. Otherwise, it will be too boring. Needless to say, this guy is rather wealthy. Or he just spent all of his mom's grocery money on this tournament. In which case, we're sorry, mother of Team DKZ owner. But we're still going to be enjoying it, despite feeling a little bit bad that you're going to be having to eat just rice by itself for the next 5 years. Yeah, it is what it is. Alright, what are we seeing here? 2 Overlords. Is this going to be the 2-base Roach build that he's been playing? This is a very common opener that Serral has been using as of late. It's like Lair Rush, that should see the Lair now, and then a Roach Warren. And then quick Glio Reconstitution with that, which is the Roach Speed. And you followed up with late Evo Chambers. Meanwhile, we see Cure opening up with a mech build order, so something we haven't quite seen yet in this particular best of 5. See the rapid thrusters here being researched. So this is the one thing I really like about Cure. He's really keen on denying scouting. Even if his builds aren't necessarily cheesy. I mean, they're a bit out there sometimes, but it's like, well, I don't want you to know what I'm doing. Even if I'm playing a pretty standard build, I want you to think that I'm doing something crazy. And I like that thought. Like, the concept of that I think is very good. Serral, though, also is very good at hiding his Overlord. It's not a single one is going to get spotted. Overseer now moving in. Glio on the way already. Roach Speed is going to hit at a similar time as the rapid thrusters are. And that means, or at least I think that means, that Serral is going to be just fine. Actually, in a way, I'm a little bit afraid here for Cure. Cure is really dedicating a lot of resources into this push. It's not just the resources right now, but it's just the fact that there's no third base. That is what's kind of hurting me here, you know? It's like, wait, where's your third base, buddy? Shouldn't you be getting that right now? Oh, it's not Mac. He's playing fake Mac. Oh. That is very cool, actually. So it's gonna get like 7-8 Cyclones, then switch into Bio. By the time Serral finds out, Cure's already in Panama. Enjoying his Bloody Mary on the beach. That's his drink of choice. It's the one he likes the most. He also likes the Moscow Mule. That's what I've heard. He's a huge fan of the Moscow Mule. He says it's the best cocktail that there is. If you don't count the Bloody Mary. Ooh, these roaches. I'm not sure what they were doing there hiding in the corner, but they've been found out right now, playing a game of hide and seek with their Zergling brothers. It's going to be costly. One infestor is out on the way. This is it's a weird setup for a game, let me tell you that. Can we get one infestor? Can we get one fungal on this and it just ends, no? Oh my god, he's going in! And there's nothing really to stop it except for these 5 roaches, which are doing a splendid job, to be honest. I need to get the resources lost table here. Well, it didn't look very successful at all. I'm not a cyclone specialist, but if you lose all of them, and you kill 7 roaches, 2 drones and 2 queens. Yeah, overall, I mean, the trade, you know, the units lost-wise wasn't even that awful. It's almost even. The problem is just that his third base is so late, right? You start mining from your third base 7 minutes in. It's not a very good sign, most of the time. There's a fourth base on the way for Serral, who also has pretty decent creep threat. Cure is going for this this triangle base, which is what I hadn't quite expected. I really hadn't, but it is happening. Sometimes when things are happening, you just, you know, gotta see what kicks off here. Moving into tank fire is a mistake. He's gonna lose a lot of roaches here. Takes out a tank, but not sure if that's worth the 4 roaches. Maybe it is, actually. Hydra then being thrown down here behind all of this. And so, oh, that's a lot of marines, and that's not enough units here. This fungal, though, could be godly, but instead only hits 3 marines. Might still be enough for these roaches to clean the rest up. This is unbelievable. I can't believe it's actually Roach Ravager. Lurkers on the way. Hate to see it. Lurker then here in the main base now going up. As 2 of these gases are also coming down. Fourth base. Now, I don't actually know what to think about all of this. You know that? Yes, Cure's early game wasn't great. But neither was Serral's. Like, his early game also kind of seemed to suck. So what do you make of that, you know? If both players have a terrible time, then maybe, like, someone still has to come out ahead. I don't know which one it is, though. Look at the upgrade for Serral. They're god-awful. He has 0-0, 8 minutes and 40 seconds in. But he is on Hive already, and I guess has very high supply. But at the same time, there's so many tanks. Like, there's 8 tanks. What is this build? I guess he had 2 factories very quickly. I guess that's why he has so many tanks. So we're just in this really kind of awkward situation in which I don't entirely know what's kicking off. I feel like this should be good for one of the players. And I want to say it's Serral. But at the same time, it's the first real late game that we're seeing. And Cure is known to have pretty good late game. Oh, drops. Drops. That is very exciting. 5 of these guys. I forgot the pneumatized carapace. So it's on the way. The Overlord speed, of course. 5-6 seconds away from finishing right now. These rocks are being taken out. Double sensor towers and 2 Vikings here in the dead space. Yeah, that's Cure. That's Cure in a nutshell, my friends. That is Cure in a nutshell. Look at this. 6 lurkers. 1 roach. Enter a Terran main base. 4 Vikings. Oh, but Serral is a genius as well. He sends in 1 Overlord first, the scout. This is the guy that's figuring out what's kicking off. The fact that Cure is here, though, is pretty sick by itself, in my mind. That is actually pretty sick. So what is Serral gonna do then? You know? Oh, Vikings have now officially pissed off. Wait, where are they? No, they're still there. I'm blind. Never mind. Here we go. Pulls in one abduct. Pulls in one tank with an abduct. Blinding Cloud kind of misses. This is not a great fight for Serral. Kills 2 workers and a refinery. Shot from a far distance with that tank. This is an exciting series. I almost forgot that there's 8 other guys also still waiting to play. If I was on Team Europe or Team Foreigner, I'd be pooping my pants right now. If Serral loses this, you don't have Serral anymore. Lurkers, however, are moving in. Fungal has hit. Second Fungal completely misses. Lurkers dishing out a lot of damage. Hydra spreading out. This base needs to be lifted right now. Overlords now pretending to go into the main base. Not quite sure what they're doing here. No, they're going. It's just Liberators being rallied here in the dead space. It's a really phenomenal play here by Cure, who also continues expanding behind this. It's not like he's given up on the macro game. This is actually scary. This is actually scary.
Mineral field.
One Overlord's going to be sent in forward. Vikings moving into the dead space. Gonna see nothing so far. Serral right now is switching his attention towards the right side. The moment this gets spotted, I think the Vikings will move back there. Yeah, he scans the Vipers, and that's it. He scans the Vipers. Surely the Vikings go there. No, Vikings just stay back. He must have seen the Dropper Lord somehow, some way. Oh, base does go down here. Serral takes out a planetary. Loses a lot of supply, though. Where did these Vikings go? Yeah, they F2'd back towards the middle. Cure's planning on attacking right now. Vikings have been spotted by Serral. I think so, at least. Oh, here come the Lurkers from the left side. Can they burrow? Well, they kind of can. This is a weird position. It's a very odd game in general that we're playing. These Lurkers are completely isolated. That means they can just be sniped down over here by these ghosts. That's 5 Lurkers down the drain. And that drain is pretty clogged right now. Let me tell you that. Big Blinding Cloud hits 2 tanks at the same time. Banelings moving in forward. Melee upgrades aren't quite there yet. I think Serral is dying. He's bleeding out. And if you are a Team World fanatic right now, oh, you should cry a little bit. This was a risk that Team World took by losing Serral in their first match. It's going to be one hell of a challenge here. It ain't over yet, but it's looking very, very dire right now. The siege up position is solid. These units are fairly damaged though. Serral comes in from multiple angles. It's going to get some connections, but one tank still remains in the back. Serral cleans something up at least. The problem is Cure isn't on 2 bases here, mining with 24 workers, okay? Cure has serious eco behind this, okay? He's being well funded here. Very well funded. Oh, a couple of snipes here on those Hydras will get cancelled by a good attack. These Lurkers trying to stay alive. The thing is that Serral isn't doing anything to counterattack. The moment Zerg is sitting back and taking hits, they will die. They can't fight like this. The reason why Serral is so good is that usually there's always a counterattack. There's always something else happening. But right now there isn't. There's nothing happening. Cure is just relaxing. He's sitting back. And he's loving life. And he should be. Because he's about to take out the best player on Team World. And as I say that, Serral does sneak by a couple of links. This is important. Yes, this doesn't look like a huge move, but it's the start of something, okay? It's the start of a freeing of the mind in a way. Kind of, Serral right now is in a mental prison where he doesn't believe that he can move out on the map, and he needs to get out of that. Because the moment he can start moving on the map, the moment he can start doing things again, it's going to be much harder for Cure to play. The easiest thing for Cure is to just play out the game with more ghosts, with more tanks moving forward. Cure's gonna give up this position. Cure feels like he might have lost map control and is afraid of a counterattack. Or he's trying to kind of merge these groups together. Lurker made its way across the map. Serral has escaped his mental prison. What a gangster. In Prison Break, it took an entire season to get out of jail. If Serral would have been in Prison Break, yeah, the show would have been over after like 2 episodes. And then the second episode would just be him golfing in Finland. It's unbelievable, this guy. Neural Parasite on the way. Greater Spire, 30% done as well. Gonna see Broodlords here. Broodlords have gained a speed buff. They're a little bit quicker. There's 2 command centers. Cure still occupying this space. I don't quite understand how Serral escaped there. That was certain death in my mind. This is unbelievable. It is truly unbelievable. Serral is a magician. And we are merely his tools. Absolute escape artist. Houdini is stunned. Houdini is the guy that escaped, right? He's good at getting out of something, the chains and all that type of stuff. Infestor burrowed underground. And now that Serral has stabilized, of course, he's looking quite okay in this game again, because his income was always very good during all of this. That's one thing we shouldn't forget. It just felt like that his army was never going to be big enough to stay alive, but it is. Lurkers are outside of this this dotted line that the sensor tower provides. Nuke going down in the natural. Serral sees it. Of course he does. There's only 8 bases. He sees that in 2 seconds. What do you think? Is amateur hour Cure? Serral tries to expand to one of Cure's bases. Cure right now wants to really mine 2 bases at the same time. And that's not going to be possible. Oh, look at this. It's the end of these Vikings. Good attempt, Cure. Nice harass. Ghost still alive in the main base. It's going to get cleaned up here, as it decided to stay in the same position as where it sent its nuke from. It's a very high tier play. Hiding in plain sight. I can't believe this is actually working out. Ling run by coming in. Maybe he tries to get a burrow here or something. This is a wild move. What in the world is this? Oh, he's coming in with a fight. Investor with a massive fungal. Gets a connection. That is okay. This base, I think, will stay alive for now. But that was a lot of workers going down. There was quite a few units going down as well. There's 9 ghosts still around. Big plays there being made. As I think the lurker defense did get cleaned up by the ghost. That does explain why this army didn't look so strong. Yeah, in some way, in some weird way, perhaps Serral did Cure a favor here, taking out his workers. Because it's going to force him to get a bigger army. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Big Blinding Cloud being hit here, actually bothering the Zerg more than the Terran. Nuke being landed on the bottom left side base. It's going to be the first time that I ever see a nuke be efficient versus Serral. Never mind. Of course it won't be. Ah, this Infestor is going to pop out. No, it dies. In the egg. Ay, ay, ay. Poor guy. Hate to see it. So we have Neo Steel armor coming out. This base once again being taken. Serral realizes that it's now or never. Like, he has a massive bank. And that's kind of a big deal. But he needs to start trading. And then he needs to put pressure on this top right side base. Or he needs to start mining from this left side base. Because in a split map scenario, he's not going to win. Here comes an attack. Serral tries so hard. And he gets pretty darn far with these banelings. There's not enough tanks in the back. Banelings don't get the connections, though, that they want as they get pulled back to try and retain any type of efficiency on these bad boys. 30k to 39. Serral, wave after wave of units throwing it at his opponent. There are 11 ghosts, and now there's 12 corruptors on the way. Serral has confidence in a Brute Lord switch. I don't have confidence in a Brute Lord switch. So who's gonna be right here? I feel like Serral finally kind of broke his opponent. The setup had been blasted. Tank count is much lower, especially here on the right side. Still have 3 tanks over here. We might have 1 up here, but it feels like this is a real vulnerable position that is out in the open. Cure was at 170 supply, and Brute Lord slowed the game down so much. You know you're not going to get this left side base anymore. It's simply impossible. Scan does miss the Brutes, by the way. That is a big deal. And I think Serral right now is... Oh, that's an interesting nuke. Let's take a look at the first person here for Serral. Going through the bases. Did he see it? I don't think he saw it. It's like, wait, where are you, buddy? Oh, he spotted it. What? Oh, he knew. He knew all along. Just making us afraid there for a sec. Here comes a scan on these brutes. Ghosts need to put in some serious work over here. But the fungal boys are around as well. Not a single Thor is out. There's no Vikings. I think this might be a stroke of brilliance. I did not think that this was going to work like it is right now. Tanks here are being stopped. Ling Bane underneath. Fungals aplenty. Without Thors, how do you break this army is the question that I have. I don't see it. Double lips are sieged up over here. Blindings. Good blinding cloud there. Hitting both of these tanks. That means this thing is gonna die. Brute Lord Infestor stays near the spores. And this base gets taken out. This is exactly what Serral needs to do. But now, of course, Cure can start focusing on that left side. Still has some orbitals he can fly over there. Losing this eco, though. And once again, it's going to make his army bigger. But how big can an army really get before it gets useless? What is this? Yeah, I did not feeling that attack there, buddy. Let me be just keep it a $150 with you. It's not an attack that I would endorse. That's a little bit too aggressive there, my dear friend. Nah, I'm not feeling this. This is not it. Hey, go home. Hey. Spreading yourself too thin, my friend. Hey, what did you think was gonna happen here, buddy? What did you think was gonna happen here? Couple of big fungals here now connecting with the ghost at the same time. Cure's just falling apart here in a couple of seconds, it feels like. Serral sitting back, relaxing, still has an infestor there on the left side as well. Liberators are being taken over. Look at that. Libs dishing out some serious damage here as the fungals are hitting. Cure is just not made for the late game, it seems like. I had full trust in him, but I'd only seen him against Korean Zergs in late. I can't recall seeing him against foreigner Zergs in late game, and it seems like that Serral is just a little bit too good here. The moment these Brute Lords came out, I don't think Cure has had a good trade in his life. Yeah, he went down 5k in resources lost. This top right side base got taken out. We have Serral. This is insulting, Serral. This is insulting, buddy. And Broodie's moving forward right now. Broodlings, by the way, last way less long than before. So some could even say that it's much shorter than before. We have words for that. $11 brutes popping in. Oh, this guy's on the edge. You see that? He's on the edge. He's lurking for an opportunity. He's waiting to get in there. Take over a Thor or fungal something nasty. This is Cure is being owned here. This is actually just being... It's being butchered right now. Ridiculous. Look at that. It's getting closer and closer, the resources lost. Serral is outmining his opponent. Is now taking the top right side base. When it rains, it pours. And right now it's pouring. And it's raining. And there's hail on the face of Cure, and he hates it. He didn't even want to be outside. This base in some serious trouble as well as the Hydras come knocking on the door. Brute still on the far right. Serral is here, there, and everywhere. Cure doesn't have backup clothes, and they're all wet right now. It's been raining for days. Yeah, the tomato plants are growing nicely, but what use it is? He doesn't even like tomatoes. He's allergic to them. He hates them. Overseer's gonna set up. And good lord, what a first series this is. If we get the full 9 best of 5s, I'm gonna be casting till 5 AM tonight. Which is in a way exciting. But I also had other plans. Link's now coming in. Yeah, Burrow, this is... That's not a very well disguised Burrow, let me tell you that. Link's popping off. $11 brutes. Still around. I'm in awe here. In absolute awe. Infestor is still burrowed here. Ever since these Broodlords have been built, he just hasn't lost stuff. This is where he shines, is in the late game. Look at the speed of these brutes. Broodlings do run out very quickly, but that impact is still there. Uh-oh. Ghost getting a couple of snipes in. One fungal hit, second fungal hit. There's a couple of brutes dying there. Liberator's now moving forward, trying to get some siege ups. It seems very ambitious here by Cure to siege up that far forward. So another Abduct is going to clear the second lip. It feels like Serral's just playing with his food. But that's what he does best. Juggling those heads of lettuces around. Throwing tomatoes at his opponent, despite knowing about his allergy. It's kind of messed up, Serral. It's not cool. What are you doing, man? I think that's funny. There's no defense here whatsoever. As Cure, I mean... Look, I'm all for preserving your army, but at some point you're also gonna make a move, you know? You can't just see your entire eco getting ransacked and then pretend that just because you still have a big army, life is going to be fine. Take a look at the army value here in minerals and in gas. It almost completely mirrors what Serral still has in the bank. So Cure needs to fight 2 of the armies that Serral currently has. There's plenty of larva available, 41. Probably needs a couple more. We see injects still going strong actually, which is hilarious. Planetaries being taken out. Like, Serral could take 2 terrible fights and it would still be good. If he takes 2 terrible fights, it's still okay. He needs to take god-awful fights, you know? Someone needs to throw a serious rock at Serral the moment this fight begins. And then needs to do it again the moment the next fight begins. Like, Serral can just drop the ball here hardcore and still be in a completely okay spot. He's just been improving his position more and more. And the funny thing here is that there's no real time pressure on Serral either. Actually, there's time pressure on his opponent. Which also makes no sense, but it is what it is. Serral's gonna start mining his top right side base at some point. Saying, hello my dear friend, how's life? Like, unless an actual miracle happens at this point, I don't understand what Cure's plan is here. Cure's just been praying for the past 5 minutes. It's literally what he's been doing. To different gods as well. Oh, here come the Neurals. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And that's 4. That's 3 Tors and 1 Liberator that aren't really helping the case here. Brutes have pretty much disappeared. Banelings rolling into Hellbats as well as into Ghost. Was this a god-awful fight for Serral? Not god-awful, but it was pretty darn bad. I think he went down 5k in resources lost here. but it simply doesn't matter. We have 16 more Hydras, 82 more Lings on the way. There's still 8 Infestors and 2 Lurkers out as well. Serral practically maxed out again at an instant. Is going to morph a couple of these Banes. Thors are very low in health. Do these Infestors? Okay, there's 1 Neural available, or perhaps 2 Fungals, depending on what you want. Serral, you can do whatever you like. Yeah. Stacks on deck. These Thors are now going to get sniped over here. The massive Unburrow, and Serral takes the first series here. In this massive team battle. Europe versus Korea. And once again, well, not Europe. Europe, Astrea, and Oliveira. So far it's Finland that's carrying the torch for the foreigners worldwide. Fantastic show here by Serral. Better than anything I have ever performed. It's beautiful to see.